The Whitaker mansion gleamed, a fortress of wealth, but inside silence ruled. Ava, their mute daughter, baffled doctors for years. Then, a poor black boy, Noah, trespassing by the garbage bins, shared a sandwich and sparked a miracle. Eva smiled, her lips forming words. Henry watched, stunned. Could this stranger unlock her voice where millions failed? The Whitaker mansion gleamed under the California sun, a sprawling estate of marble columns, manicured gardens, and crystal chandeliers that could rival a palace. Henry Whitaker, the tech billionaire whose apps had revolutionized social media, paced his state-of-the-art security room, his eyes glued to the high-definition screens. What he saw made his world tilt on its axis. There, in the backyard by the overflowing garbage bins, sat his 7-year-old daughter, Ava, silent since birth, a mystery that had baffled the world's top doctors. And beside her, sharing a simple peanut butter sandwich, was a teenage black boy in ragged clothes, his skin glistening with sweat from a long day's hustle. This stranger shouldn't be there. The property was fortified like a fortress. Henry's finger hovered over the alarm button, ready to summon armed guards. But then something impossible happened. Ava smiled, a real radiant smile that lit up her face like dawn breaking through storm clouds. She hadn't just smiled. Her lips moved, forming shapes that hinted at words locked away for years. The boy, Noah, chatted casually, as if conversing with an old friend, oblivious to the miracle unfolding. Henry replayed the footage, his heart pounding. After millions spent on therapies, specialists from Europe, and experimental treatments, it was this poor kid from the streets who cracked the shell. Sarah, Henry's elegant wife, burst into the room, her designer dress rumpled from another sleepless night. "Henry, did our baby just try to speak?" she whispered, tears carving paths down her flawless makeup. Yes, she had, but to a total outsider, a boy society deemed worthless. Little did they know, this encounter would shatter their perfect world and rebuild it from the ashes of prejudice and pain. In the opulent halls of the Whitaker home, silence had reigned supreme for 7 long years. Eva was born perfect in every way, blue eyes sparkling with intelligence, blonde curls framing a cherubic face. But from her first breath, no cry escaped her lips. No coos, no babbles, no first words. Doctors poked and prodded, running scans that showed a healthy brain, flawless vocal cords. Selective mutism, they labeled it. Or perhaps something deeper, a choice buried in her soul. Henry and Sarah, drowning in guilt and grief, threw their fortune at the problem. Private jets ferried experts. Custom apps tracked progress that never came. Ava communicated through signs, drawings, and an iPad, her thoughts profound beyond her years. Yet her voice remained a ghost, haunting their dreams. Why us? Henry often wondered, staring at his reflection in the infinity pool. They had everything, wealth, power, influence, but not the one thing that mattered, their daughter's voice. Now, on this fateful morning, that silence teetered on the edge of breaking, all because of a boy named Noah, who did the unthinkable. He treated Eva not as a broken doll, but as a person worth hearing, even in quiet. As the security feed looped, Henry felt a chill. This wasn't just a trespass. It was destiny knocking, wrapped in the unlikeliest package. What followed would test their family, expose hidden truths, and prove that sometimes the poorest souls hold the richest gifts. The camera in Henry's mind zoomed out, revealing the stark divide between worlds. While the Whitakers sipped imported coffee in their sunlit kitchen, Noah scavenged for survival in the shadows of the city. But in that backyard moment, bridges formed where walls once stood. Eva pointed at the sandwich, her eyes wide with curiosity. Noah laughed, a sound warm as summer rain. Want some? It's the best kind, made with love and whatever's left in the jar. She nodded, taking a bite, her first unprompted interaction in ages. Henry watched, transfixed, as his daughter mimicked blowing into a bottle Noah held up, creating a whimsical tune. No coercion, no clinical exercises, just pure human connection. Sarah clutched Henry's arm. Who is he? How did he get her to engage like that? The answer lay in the unthinkable. Noah saw beyond the silence to the girl trapped within. But danger lurked. Security protocols screamed for action. Would Henry call the guards, or let this miracle unfold? The decision would spark a chain of events leading to heartbreak, heroism, and a voice finally set free. As the footage ended, Henry whispered, "This changes everything." Indeed, it did, for in the collision of privilege and poverty, a story of redemption was born, one word at a time. 3 months before that fateful encounter, Henry Whitaker stood in a sterile therapy room, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the colorful toys scattered around. Another specialist, Dr. Morrison, packed up her equipment, her face etched with defeat. She was the best childhood speech pathologist in the country, but even she couldn't unlock Eva's voice. Mr. Whitaker, I've tested everything, she said, her voice heavy with frustration. Ava's vocal cords are perfect. Her hearing is above average. Brain scans show normal activity in all speech areas. There's no medical reason she can't speak. Henry's jaw tightened, his exhaustion palpable after 7 years of chasing answers. Then why doesn't she? He asked, his voice carrying the weight of countless sleepless nights. Dr. Morrison hesitated. Sometimes children make a choice, conscious or unconscious. Ava has chosen silence, and I don't know why. The words hung like a verdict, unchangeable and cruel. Henry turned to the one-way glass, watching Eva sit quietly, her blue eyes tracking a picture book with fierce intelligence. She was a puzzle no one could solve, not even the experts he'd paid millions to. Henry and Sarah Whitaker lived a life most could only dream of. Their tech empire had made them billionaires by 30, their mansion a testament to their success. Italian marble, custom art, a private chef who crafted organic meals. But their greatest treasure was Eva, born after years of fertility struggles. Her birth was a celebration, her first moments captured in high definition by professional photographers. Yet when she didn't cry, the doctors exchanged glances. She's healthy, they assured, but the silence persisted. By age 2, when other children babbled endlessly, Ava remained mute. Specialists flocked to their doorstep. Neurologists, psychologists, speech therapists from Switzerland. They tried music therapy, equine therapy, even experimental neural scans costing as much as a sports car. Nothing worked. Eva communicated brilliantly through sign language and an iPad app, her written answers revealing a mind sharp beyond her years. She aced homeschool assignments, her essays poetic, her math flawless, but her voice, it was a vault, locked tight. Sarah, once a vibrant lawyer, had become a shadow of herself, her days consumed by researching treatments. She read bedtime stories to Eva, her voice trembling as she watched her daughter sign responses. "Sometimes I wonder if she's punishing us," Sarah whispered one night, after Ava fell asleep clutching her stuffed rabbit. "For what? We've given her everything." Henry's voice cracked, betraying his own doubts. "Maybe that's the problem," Sarah replied softly. "Maybe we've given her everything except what she needs." They'd built a perfect world for Ava. Private tutors, curated outfits, a life shielded from chaos. Yet she was a ghost in her own home, present but not fully there, her silence a wall no amount of money could breach. Henry watched her through the security cameras, his heart breaking daily. She was brilliant, beautiful, but trapped in a world where words were currency and she had none to spend. The Whitakers' desperation grew with each failed therapy. They'd flown in experts from London, Tokyo, Boston, each leaving with a hefty check and no progress. Ava's silence wasn't just a medical mystery. It felt personal, a rebuke of their perfect life. Henry, a man who controlled algorithms that shaped billions of lives, felt powerless. Sarah, who once argued cases before judges, couldn't persuade her daughter to utter a single sound. They'd given up hope of hearing her voice, settling for her smiles. Polite, practiced, never reaching her eyes. But that morning, as Henry reviewed the security footage, he saw something new. A spark in Eva's face, a hint of joy he hadn't seen before. It wasn't the therapists or their gadgets that stirred her. It was a boy, a stranger, who'd wandered into their fortress and done what no one else could. As Henry watched Eva mimic Noah's bottle blowing, he felt a strange mix of fear and hope. This wasn't in the plan. This wasn't supposed to happen. But maybe, just maybe, this was the answer they'd been searching for all along, hidden in the unlikeliest of places. Across town, in a world far removed from the Whitakers' opulence, Noah Williams navigated life with a different kind of determination. At 16, he was a wiry teenager with neat twists in his hair and clothes patched together from thrift stores. His days began before dawn, sorting recyclables from city bins to scrape together money for his little sister, Kesha. Their parents were gone. His mother to cancer 2 years ago. His father lost to a car accident when Noah was 10. Now, he lived in a youth shelter, a cramped space with flickering lights and thin mattresses. Kesha stayed with their aunt in a crowded apartment, and Noah's mission was clear. Keep her in school. Keep her safe. Give her the life he'd never have. Every can, every bottle he collected was a step toward that goal, each one handled with care, as if even garbage deserved respect. Noah's life was a hustle, but he carried it with a quiet grace. He hummed old gospel tunes his mother taught him, finding rhythm in the clink of bottles. School was a luxury he could barely afford, but when he attended, his grades shone. Math, history, literature, all mastered between shifts at odd jobs. Teachers called him gifted, but Noah shrugged it off. Gifts didn't pay for Kesha's textbooks or keep the shelter's heat on. He'd learned early that the world didn't care about his potential. It judged his worn shoes, his address, his skin. Yet, he refused to let bitterness take root. Mama said joy comes in the morning, he'd tell himself, sorting cans under streetlights. Just gotta wait for dawn. His days were a blur of survival, collecting recyclables, dodging trouble in rough neighborhoods, checking on Kesha. The city was unforgiving, its wealth starkly visible in places like the Whitaker's neighborhood, where private security patrolled and trash bins held treasures, unbroken bottles, barely used appliances. Noah knew the routes, the schedules, the unwritten rules of scavenging. Tuesday mornings he hit the Whitaker's block, their bins a goldmine of recyclables. He worked methodically, organizing cans with precision, humming to keep the loneliness at bay. It was a life of scraps, but Noah found beauty in it. A green bottle caught the light like a gem. A discarded toy became Kesha's birthday gift. He saw value where others saw waste. Noah's heart carried a weight heavier than his bags of cans. Kesha, only 10, had their mother's eyes and a laugh that could light up a room. But she was vulnerable, and Noah felt the pressure of being her protector. The shelter wasn't home. It was a reminder of everything they'd lost. Yet Noah dreamed big, for Kesha to go to college, for a day when he wouldn't have to choose between food and her school supplies. His pride kept him from begging. His kindness kept him from stealing. He was invisible to the world, just another kid in the margins. But to Kesha, he was everything. And on that Tuesday morning, as he sorted through the Whitaker's bins, he had no idea he was about to step into a story that would change not just his life, but the lives of a family who had everything except what he could offer. It was a Tuesday morning, the air crisp with the promise of spring, when Noah slipped into the Whitaker's backyard. The mansion loomed like a castle, its security cameras glinting like watchful eyes. Noah moved quietly, practiced in the art of going unnoticed. The garbage bins, tucked behind a row of manicured hedges, were his target, overflowing with recyclables from a private service that hadn't shown up at 4 a.m. as scheduled. He knelt beside them, sorting glass from plastic with swift, careful hands, humming a tune his mother used to sing. A crash echoed when a bottle slipped, and Noah froze, glancing at the mansion. No alarms, no guards, yet he resumed, unaware that fate was about to intervene. Inside, Henry Whitaker monitored the security feed from his home office, a habit born of paranoia and wealth. The crash drew his attention, and his screen revealed the intruder. A teenage boy, thin, in worn clothes, methodically organizing their trash. Henry's first instinct was to call security. Trespassing was a violation of their carefully controlled world, but something stopped him. The boy wasn't stealing or vandalizing. He was respectful, handling each item like it mattered. Henry zoomed in, noting the boy's clean, if tattered clothes and the quiet focus in his movements. "Who is this kid?" he muttered, reaching for his phone. Then, movement caught his eye. Eva, his silent daughter, stepping into the backyard. Eva never went outside alone. She was supposed to be in her mathematics lesson with Mrs. Peterson, her tutor, in a room filled with educational charts and soft lighting. Yet there she was, her blonde curls catching the sun, standing still as a statue, watching the boy. Henry's heart lurched. Eva's face held an expression he'd never seen. Curiosity, unguarded and alive. Noah looked up, spotting her, and Henry braced for him to bolt. Instead, Noah smiled, a warm, genuine smile that seemed to melt the morning chill. "Hey there, little one," he said softly. "Didn't mean to make noise. Just collecting recyclables, you know, saving the planet one bottle at a time." Eva tilted her head, studying him like a puzzle she wanted to solve. Henry's finger hovered over the panic button, his mind racing. This was a breach, a risk. But Eva didn't look scared. She sat on the back steps, her usual guarded posture softening. Noah continued, unfazed by her silence. "I'm Noah," he said, as if one-sided conversations were normal. "What's your name?" Eva, of course, said nothing, but her eyes never left him. Noah nodded, unbothered. "That's cool. You don't have to talk. I talk enough for 10 people, my mama always said." He chuckled, pulling a green bottle from the bin. "Check this out. These sing if you blow just right," he demonstrated, producing a low, haunting note. Eva's eyes widened, a spark of interest Henry hadn't seen in years. Sarah appeared behind Henry, her breath catching as she watched the feed. "Henry, what's happening?" "Who's that boy?" Henry didn't answer, transfixed as Eva took a small bottle Noah offered. She mimed blowing, her cheeks puffing comically, no sound emerging. Noah laughed, not mocking, but delighted. "That's the spirit. You're a natural bottle musician." Henry's heart pounded. He'd hired clowns, musicians, therapists with PhDs, all failing to engage Eva. Yet this boy with nothing but a bottle and kindness had her trying something new. Eva waved as Noah prepared to leave, dragging his bag of recyclables. It wasn't the stiff wave from therapy sessions. It was enthusiastic, a plea for him to return. Same time Thursday? Noah asked. That's recycling day around here. Prime bottle hunting. Eva nodded, her curls bouncing. Mrs. Peterson stormed into the backyard, her face pinched with outrage. Ava, you're supposed to be in lessons. And you, she glared at Noah, you're trespassing. I'm calling the police! Henry shocked himself by shouting, No! He rushed outside, his voice firm. It's fine. He's allowed. Mrs. Peterson gaped, scandalized. But Henry's eyes were on Eva, who clutched his hand, pointing at Noah with a pleading look. Thursday, Henry said, surprising himself again. You can come back Thursday. Noah's smile could have lit the city. See you then, little musician. As Noah walked away, Eva pressed her face to the window, watching until he vanished. Then she typed one word on her iPad and showed Henry. Friend. Sarah gasped, tears welling. This was no ordinary morning. It was the start of something unthinkable. A connection that would unravel their world and stitch it back together in ways they never imagined. Thursday dawned, and Eva was at the back door before sunrise. A row of bottles she'd saved from the recycling bin lined up on the steps like an offering. Henry watched from the kitchen, his coffee forgotten. Eva, who followed routines with robotic precision, had broken her schedule for this boy. When Noah appeared, his face lit up at the bottles. You saved these for me? That's beautiful, little one. He knelt beside her, inspecting each bottle. How about we split the profit? Partners? Eva's eyes widened. No one had ever called her a partner. She was always the patient, the problem. She nodded, her face glowing with purpose. For the next hour, they sorted bottles together, Noah chatting about glass-making, recycling, even a telescope he'd once found in someone's trash. Still worked too, he said. Now I know all the constellations. Want to hear my favorite? Eva nodded eagerly. Cassiopeia. She was a queen who talked too much, so the gods flipped her upside down in the sky to teach her humility. But I think she just needed someone to listen right. Sarah watched from the kitchen window, her heart aching with hope and fear. She brought out a tray of sandwiches, prosciutto and arugula, far fancier than Noah's usual fare. You must be hungry, she said, her voice tight with the effort to seem casual. Noah eyed the sandwiches with polite confusion. Thank you, ma'am, but I'm okay, Sarah insisted. Please, join us. They sat on the porch, an odd trio. The billionaire's wife, the homeless teen, and the silent girl. She seems to like you, Sarah ventured. Eva's cool, Noah replied simply. She listens better than anyone I know. Sarah's voice broke. But she doesn't. She can't talk, Noah shrugged. So what? My grandma said the wisest folks speak the least. Eva's got wisdom stored up. When she talks, it'll change the world. Eva leaned against Noah's shoulder, a trust she'd never shown anyone else. Over weeks, Noah became a fixture. Henry had his security team run a background check. Noah Williams, 16, parents deceased, living in a shelter, saving for his sister's school supplies. Clean record, good grades when he could attend school. We should hire him, Henry told Sarah one night. A real job? The crisis came at 2 a.m. Police sirens shattering the Whitaker mansion's quiet. Blue and red lights painted Eva's bedroom walls, and Henry found her at the window, her small hand pressed against the glass, tears streaming down her silent face. Sarah stood in the doorway, her voice breaking. They're taking Noah. Through the window, they saw Noah in handcuffs, his face bruised, his lips split, being pushed into a police car. His eyes searched the mansion until they found Eva. He smiled, that same warm smile, and mouthed, "It's okay, little musician." Eva's mouth opened in a silent scream, her body shaking with the effort to speak, to stop this nightmare. Henry was already on the phone with his lawyer, his voice sharp with urgency. What did he do? Sarah demanded as he hung up. He didn't do anything wrong, Henry said. He was protecting Kesha. Some older boys tried to hurt her. Noah fought them off, but he turned 18 last week. The other boys are minors, and their parents are pressing charges. Eva stood, her face fierce with determination. She grabbed her iPad, typing furiously, then showed her parents. Save him. He saved me first. Henry knelt beside her. Sweetheart, Noah didn't save you. Eva threw the iPad across the room, her first act of defiance. Then she opened her mouth and forced out a sound, a raw, primal cry of anguish, the first noise she'd made in 7 years. Sarah gasped, collapsing against Henry. The sound wasn't a word, but it was a crack in the wall of silence, a sign of the storm within her. Henry spent the night on the phone, pulling strings with lawyers and judges. By morning, Noah was released on bail Henry paid, but he refused to come to the mansion. "I can't bring my troubles to your door," he told Henry at the courthouse. "Eva doesn't need this mess." Henry's voice was firm. "Eva needs you. She made a sound last night when she saw them take you. She tried to scream." Noah's eyes filled with tears. "She found her voice because of pain? That's not how it should be." Henry gripped his shoulder. "Come back. Show her speaking doesn't have to come from fear." When Noah walked through the Whitakers' front door, not the back, not as a trespasser, Eva ran to him, wrapping her arms around his waist. Noah knelt, his bruised face gentle. "Hey, little musician. I'm okay. Just a few battle scars makes me look tough, right?" Eva touched his split lip, her eyes questioning. "I had to protect Kesha," Noah explained. "Just like I'd protect you. That's what friends do." Eva led him to the piano, untouched despite years of lessons. She placed his fingers on the keys, pressing them to play a simple melody, then looked at him expectantly. Noah fumbled, but Eva was patient, guiding him until he got it right. Then she added her own harmony, their hands creating music together. Sarah recorded it, tears streaming down her face. In 7 years, no therapist had thought to let Eva be the teacher. The legal storm loomed. Noah's case wasn't just about a fight. The other boy's parents were suing for assault, threatening juvenile detention until he was 21. Eva overheard, her face crumpling. She grabbed Henry's hand, her eyes pleading. "We'll help him," Henry promised. But the odds were steep. Noah's pride battled his fear for Kesha, who needed him free. The Whitakers, used to solving problems with money, faced a challenge wealth couldn't easily fix. But Eva, the silent girl who just found her voice in pain, was about to show them all what courage looked like. 3 weeks later, the courtroom buzzed with tension. Noah sat at the defendant's table, his borrowed suit slightly too big, his face still marked by fading bruises. Henry and Sarah sat in the gallery, their wealth useless in this moment. But Eva, holding Noah's hand on one side and Henry's on the other, marched in with a fire in her eyes. She'd never been in such a public place, always shielded from crowds due to her condition. Yet here she was, determined. When the judge asked Noah to explain the incident, Eva stood, her small frame trembling but resolute. "I speak," she said, her voice rough and new, cutting through the courtroom's murmur like a blade. Henry's lawyer tried to intervene, but the judge, intrigued, waved him off. "Let her continue." Eva pulled out her iPad, handing it to the judge with a typed message. He read aloud, "Your Honor, Noah saved his sister like he saved me. Not from bad boys, but from silence. He never asked me to speak. He just showed me it was safe to try. Please don't take him away. He's teaching me to be brave." The courtroom fell silent. Eva's voice, unused for 7 years, was halting but clear. "Noah, teach me," she said aloud. "He see me. Not broken. Eva, just Eva." The judge leaned forward. "How long have you been silent, young lady?" Eva swallowed. 7 years. "And you're speaking now for Noah?" She nodded, then added, "Family." The word landed like a thunderclap, her conviction undeniable. Henry and Sarah clutched each other, tears streaming. They'd spent millions to hear Eva's voice, but it was her love for Noah that unlocked it. The judge reviewed the case files, security footage of Noah defending Kesha, character testimonials Henry's team had gathered, but Eva's testimony was the turning point. "It seems to me," the judge said, "that Mr. Noah Williams acted to protect his minor sister from 3 assailants. His recent 18th birthday doesn't negate his right to defend a child." Case dismissed. The courtroom erupted in cheers. Eva threw herself into Noah's arms, and for the first time in 7 years she laughed, a rusty, real sound that echoed with joy. "Thank you," she whispered in his ear. Noah hugged her back. "No, little musician, thank you." Outside the courthouse, Henry made a decision that shocked even himself. "Noah, I want to offer you something, not charity, a real proposal. Come live with us. Be Eva's companion officially, but also be part of our family. You and Kesha both. We have more rooms than we know what to do with." Noah's pride wavered, his thoughts on Kesha in their aunt's overcrowded apartment, on the shelter's thin mattresses. "Not charity," he said firmly. "Family," Henry replied. Eva tugged Noah's sleeve, her voice stronger. "Stay, please." "Need you," Sarah added. "We all need you. You gave us our daughter back." Noah looked at Eva's hopeful face and nodded. "Family," he agreed. The decision was made, but the real transformation was just beginning, as Eva's words and Noah's presence would reshape their lives in ways no one could foresee. 6 months later, the Whitaker mansion buzzed with a new kind of life. Kesha's laughter filled halls once silent, her energy a perfect match for Eva's quiet intensity. The girls became inseparable, Eva helping with homework, Kesha teaching dance moves. Noah, with Henry's support, finished high school. His grades soaring now that survival wasn't his only focus. 3 colleges offered full scholarships after his story went viral. Homeless teen helps billionaire's mute daughter find her voice. But the biggest change was Eva. She didn't speak constantly, perhaps she never would. But her words carried weight. She started a blog, typing about selective mutism and the pressure to be fixed. "I was never broken," she wrote. "I was waiting for someone who understood silence isn't a prison. Noah saw me, not my condition. That's love." The Whitaker mansion transformed into the Williams-Whitaker Foundation headquarters, a non-profit Noah and Eva launched for children with selective mutism. Noah managed outreach, Eva contributed research, her brilliance shining through. At the foundation's gala, Eva spoke fluently, though sparingly. "People ask what made me speak after 7 years. Noah saw me, not my father's money, not a problem. He saw me. When you're truly seen, finding your voice is a celebration." The gala raised $2 million, and Henry, watching his daughter work the room, turned to Sarah. "Did we save Noah? Or did he save us?" "Both," Sarah said. "That's family." A year later, at Noah's high school graduation, Eva gave a surprise speech. "My name is Eva Whitaker. For 7 years I didn't speak. People thought I was broken. My parents spent millions to fix me. But I was waiting for someone to hear me without words. Noah did. He saw a friend, not a problem." The audience gave a standing ovation. Later, Eva pulled Noah aside. "My first word, happy, wasn't my first. At 3, I said yay when Mom told me about a baby sibling. She lost the baby, and I thought my word caused it. So I stopped, until you made me feel safe to try again." Noah hugged her. "Your words are full of love, Eva. They could never hurt." 5 years on, Dr. Eva Whitaker, now 13 and a prodigy, accepted an award for her research on selective mutism. "This belongs to Noah Williams," she said. "He taught me therapy isn't about forcing normalcy. It's meeting people where they are." Noah, now married with 3 kids who called Eva Aunt Eva, ran the foundation, helping thousands. Every Thursday, they met on the mansion's back steps, sorting recyclables to remember their roots. "Remember when you couldn't speak?" Noah asked. "Remember when you didn't have a home?" Eva replied. "We saved each other," they said together, a ritual of gratitude. 10 years after that first meeting, Eva and Noah stood as proof that love speaks louder than words. Eva, now Dr. Whitaker, led groundbreaking research, showing the world that silence can be a choice, not a defect. Noah's foundation gave children a voice through music, patience, and acceptance. Their story, born from a chance encounter by garbage bins, showed that miracles don't need wealth, they need understanding. Eva's blog reached millions, her words simple but profound. Noah saw treasure where others saw trash. He heard me in silence. That's the real wealth. At Eva's 8th birthday, the first she wanted, she looked around at Noah, Kesha, her parents, and said, "This is my wish come true. Family bigger than blood." Henry raised a glass. "To Noah, who taught us wealth is what you share." Kesha added, "To family, however it finds you." Eva concluded, "To love, always finding a way." Their story wasn't about fixing brokenness. It was about seeing wholeness in others. A billionaire's daughter and a homeless boy, worlds apart, found common ground in kindness. Eva's voice, silent for 7 years, proved the most powerful voices wait for the right listener. Noah, dismissed by society, showed that value lies in the heart, not the wallet. Together they taught us that love, when it listens, always finds a way to speak.